Welcome to Think CSEC. Today we'll be doing the CSEC Office Administration June 2015 past paper 1 questions and answers. So let us get right in. The first question says, which of the following services are functions performed by the General Office? A. Delivering goods. B. Manufacturing goods. C. Producing information. Or D. Designing new products. Our answer is C. Producing information. Let's move on to question number 2. Says, Matchbox Limited is structured so that each department has control over its own mail, typing, photocopying, and filing. This method of organizing office functions is described as A. Functional, B. Centralized, C. Decentralized, or D. Divisionalized. We know it is C. Decentralized. Let's go on to question number 3. It says, an organizational chart shows the A. Position of each employee, B. The names of department heads, C. Order in which work is carried out, or D. Lines of responsibility of different positions. We know the answer is D. Lines of responsibility of different positions. Let's go on to question number 4. Large office space with many employees working in the same area is referred to as A. Cellular, B. Enclosed, C. Extended, or D. Open plan. We know it is an open plan. So our answer is D. Let's go on to question number 5. The science of fitting the workplace to meet the needs of employees is known as A. Networking, B. Ergonomics, C. Telecommuting, or D. Social responsibility. We know the answer is B. Ergonomics. Let's move on to question number 6. It says, which of the following pieces of computer hardware is an output device? A. CPU, B. Mouse, C. Monitor, or D. Keyboard. We know it is the monitor, C. Let's move on to question number 7. In an office where large quantities of printed materials have to be cut to size, it would be most useful to have access to A. Guillotine, B. Letter opener, C. Sharp-edged knife, or D. Large pair of scissors. We know it could not be B nor C nor D with the method of elimination because these cannot be used to cut large quantities of materials. So our answer is A. Guillotine. Let's go on to question number 8. The main disadvantage of oral communication is that there is no A. Record, B. Privacy, C. Reliability, or D. Impression. As we said, this disadvantage of oral communication, we know it would be C. Reliability. Let's go on to question number 9. Which of the following is not a characteristic of registered mail? A. Offers proof of postage. B. Facilitates safe delivery of mail. C, normally sent by second-class mail, or D, offers compensation for loss or damage? We know the answer is C. It says not. It is not normally sent by second-class mail. So answer is C. Let's go on to question number 10. The difference between A4 paper and A5 paper is 1. A5 width is in landscape is the same as A4 width in portrait. 2. A4 paper is smaller than A5 paper. 3. A5 paper is half the size of A4 paper. Is it A, I only, B, 2 only, C, 1 and 3 only, or D, 2 and 3 only? We know that our answer is C, 1 and 3 only. Let's go on to question number 11. Which of the following items would be included in a memorandum? A, date, B, salutation, C, designation, or D, complimentary clues? We know using the method of elimination, it could not be B. We know it's neither C nor D. Those are not a part of memorandum. It would be A. So our answer would be A. Let's go on to question number 12. A businessman is traveling to a country which is 1 hour ahead of the time in his country. If the plane departs at 12 noon and the flight takes 1 hour and 15 minutes, what time will it be when he arrives at his destination? Is it A, 2:15 hours, B, 12:15 hours, C, 13:15 hours, or D, 14:15 hours? We know they are 1 hour ahead, so 12 and 1, that's 13. And the flight took 1 hour and 15 minutes, so that's 14:15 hours. So our answer is D. Let's go on to question number 13. Here it says, which of the following is not a source of information on job opportunities? A, thesaurus, B, newspaper, C, trade journal, or D, company newsletter? Well, using the method of elimination, we know that you would find job opportunities in a newspaper, you'd find it in a company newsletter, or a trade journal. So it would be A. You would not find information on job opportunities in a thesaurus, because we know what thesaurus is. Right, let's move on to question number 14. The internet may best be described as A, a local network of web pages, B, an internal area network to send email, C, a network that can help control viruses, or D, an international network that can connect computers. We know it is D. It's an international network that can connect computers. So our answer is D. Let's go on to question number 15. Which of the following is an example of a fringe benefit? This is another question that has been repeated. Is it A, promotional offers, B, holiday arrangements, C, training opportunities, or D, use of company vehicle? We know our answer is D, use of company vehicle. That's a fringe benefit. Let's go on to question number 17. It is now 3 months since a graduate applied for a job at a large firm. The graduate received only a letter of acknowledgement. What action should the graduate take to indicate that he or she is still interested in the job? Is it A, write another letter of application, or B, write a letter to follow up on the application, or C, telephone a friend who works with the firm, or D, visit the company and ask to see the human resource manager? We're using the method of elimination. We know C would be totally out of it. We know visiting the company and ask to see the human resource company is not the course to take. So we know that our answer, and it doesn't make sense to write another letter of application. So our answer would be B, to write a letter to follow up on the application since you sent one before. Let's go on to question number 17. Which of the following positions is responsible for receiving and relaying messages and making appointments? A, receptionist, B, office hostess, C, office messenger, or D, company secretary? We know it is A, the receptionist. Let's go on to question number 18. Here it says, which of the following would be most suitable for storing inactive files? A, box files, B, microfilm, C, accordion files, or D, suspension folders? We know it could not be A, nor C, nor D. So our answer would be B, microfilm. Let's go on to question number 19. Which of the following services would usually be offered to customers who have fixed deposit accounts at a commercial bank? 1, permission to write checks on the accounts. 2, withdrawals on demand with interest earned. 3, higher interest rate than that offered on savings account. So is it A, 1 only, B, 3 only, or C, 1 and 2 only, or D, 1, 2, and 3? We know once it's a fixed deposit account, it has a higher interest rate than that offered on savings accounts. So our answer would be B, 3 only. Let's go on to question number 20. Which of the following is not a requirement of a letter of application? A, it should be typed. B, the grammar used should be correct. C, it should request an opportunity for an interview. Or D, it should indicate the position for which the person is applying. Now, when we're writing a letter of application, we know it is very important that we pay attention to our grammar. It is very important that we state that we would request an opportunity for an interview. And we should also indicate the position for which the person is applying. So we know the answer is A, it should be typed. That is not a requirement. So let's go on to question number 21. It says, the term cross-referencing refers to documents that are filed A, as inactive, B, as miscellaneous, C, under the same heading, or D, under different headings. We know once it's a cross-reference, it has to be documented under different headings to show the difference, what change has taken place. Like we know the change in the name of a company or if someone has gotten married. Let's go on to question number 22. Which of the following would a receptionist use to record information about visitors to a firm? A, call card, B, personal diary, C, reception register, or D, schedule of activities? We know it would be C, reception register. So let's go on to question number 23. Traveler's checks are used instead of cash when traveling abroad because they A. have a greater value than cash, B. will be replaced by the bank if lost, C. are preferred to cash in foreign countries, or D. give the traveler a high status rating in the foreign country. We know it would be B. It can be replaced if it is lost. The bank can replace it. So traveler's check does not have any of greater value than cash. No, but and the others would be eliminated too. So our answer would be B. Let's go on to question number 24. Files which are no longer in use and placed in storage are referred to as A. stored, B. indexed, C. inactive, or D. reserved. No, this is a giveaway. This is C. inactive. Let's go on to question 25. Here it says, a visitor arrives at the office without an appointment. What is the most suitable action for the receptionist to take? A. Take him or her to see the manager immediately. B. Invite the visitor to wait until he or she contacts someone to assist. C. Give the visitor a chance to wait before meeting a member of staff. Or D. Tell the visitor that he or she can only receive attention if an appointment is made. We know it would be B. D. Sorry. Tell the visitor that he or she can only receive attention if an appointment is made. Let's go on to question number 26. Here it says, at the annual general meeting of Verona Enterprises, an equal number of votes were cast for and against a motion. What action should the chairperson take to break the tie? A. Exercises casting vote. B. Ask the members to vote again. C. Adjourn the meeting to another date. Or D. Ask the members to ratify the motion. We know our answer would be A. Exercises casting vote. That's what the chairpersons can do. Let's go on to question 27. In a meeting, the role of a proxy is to A. Present the agenda. B. Put forward motions. C. Act on behalf of an absent member. Or D. Collect votes from all in attendance. We know our answer would be C. To act on behalf of an absent member. That's the role of the proxy. Let's go on to number 28. It says, which of the following terms is used to describe a committee which has been set up to deal with a specific matter? A. Central. B. Ad hoc. C. General. Or D. Administrative. We know it would be B. Ad hoc. Let's go on to 29. Within a meeting context, a proposal that certain action be taken is known as A. A motion. B. An agenda. C. A casting vote. D. An amendment. We know when it is a proposal that certain action be taken, it is known as A motion. Let's go on to question number 30. Here it says, the chairperson's role in a meeting is to 1. Control the discussions and guide members. 2. Make notes of the discussion as they take place. 3. Ensure all members are given an opportunity to speak. Is it A, 1 and 2 only? B, 1 and 3 only? C, 2 and 3 only? Or D, 1, 2, and 3? We know it is all of these, all of them. So our answer would be D. The chairperson's role is to control the discussion and guide members, to make notes of the discussion, and to ensure all members are given an opportunity to speak. Let's go on to 31. The clerk responsible for making travel arrangements omitted a hotel reservation for an officer. The officer was due to depart at 10:30 a.m. The error was discovered at 10 a.m. on the same day. What should the clerk do to address the problem? 1. Call the hotel, explain the situation, and make the reservation. 2. Contact the officer at the local airport and inform him of the error. 3. Make arrangements to explain to the officer when he arrives at his destination. So is it A, 1 only, B, 2 only, or C, 1 and 2 only, or D, 2 and 3 only? So what would be your answer? What would you do? Well, we know it would be best to call the hotel, explain the situation, and make the reservation. Contacting the officer can only make the person become angry, and making arrangements to explain to him, that would be ruled out as well. So our answer is A. Let's go on to 32. An itinerary gives information concerning A, the appointments for the day, B, the details of a business trip, C, work to be done by an executive, or D, departure and arrival times of flights. We know that it is an itinerary. Answer is D. These are departure and arrival of times of flights. Let's go on to 33. Says, Mrs. K purchased a new stove on hire purchase from New and Used Appliances Limited. She wants to authorize her bank to make monthly payments. Which of the following services should she use? A, debit order, B, money order, C, credit transfer, or D, standing order. We know it could not be A, using the method of elimination. Number B, letter B is totally out. A money order is not what that purpose it serves. Neither is it a credit transfer. So our answer would be D, a standing order. Let's go to question number 34. Which of the following is used by Caribbean businessmen who travel between various English-speaking Caribbean countries? A, visa, B, passport, C, entry permit, or D, national identification card. Now, using the method of elimination, we know it's not a visa, it's not an international country. It's not D, national identification card. We know what the purpose of that is within a country that used to identify you as a citizen of that country. So we know our answer, and it's not C, so we know it is B. It's a passport. Once it's Caribbean country, it's a passport. Let's go on to 35. It says, the clerk in the Human Resource Office is responsible for A. Preparing checks, B. Keeping petty cash, C. Listening to complaints, or D. Keeping personal records. We know our answer. The clerk in the Human Resource Office is responsible for D. Keeping personnel records. All right, let's go on to question number 36. Which of the following internal factors are most likely to contribute to high employee turnover? A. Low salaries and poor working conditions. B. The state of the country's economy and lack of training. C. Poor fringe benefits and the high level of taxation on salaries. Or D. Promotional opportunities and competition for job placement. We know it is D. Promotional opportunities and competition for job placement. That would push employees to work hard because they know there are benefits in return. Let's go on to question 37. In a cash book, all monies received are indicated as A. Credit, B. Deposit, C. Debit entry, or D. Credit entry. Monies received in a cash book. We know it is always indicated as a debit entry. Let's go on to question number 38. Here it says, clearly is paid a basic wage of $8 per hour for a 40-hour week and $9.60 per hour for overtime work. Last week, Claire worked 48 hours. What was her total wage for the week? A, is it $76.80? B, $320. C, $396.80. Or D, $760. Now, we know the basic wage rate per hour is $8. And she did 40 hours. So when we multiply 8 by 40, we get $320. Now, she worked 48 hours. So we know that the 40 from 48 would be 8 hours. So 8 hours overtime she did. So therefore, we would have to multiply 8 at the rate of $9.60. And so when you multiply that 8 by $9.60, it gives us $76.80. Now, what we would have to do now is to add the $320 that we get for the 40-hour week and the overtime rate, which is $76.80. So $320 plus $76.80, we get $396.80. So our answer is C. Let's go on to question number 39. When additional money is paid to an employee for more work completed in fewer hours than specified, at what rate is the amount calculated? A, flat, B, bonus, C, overtime, or D, double time? We know it is calculated at overtime. We just add an example in 38. So let's go on to question number 40. Here it says, arrange the following list in the correct alphabetical order for filing. 1. Dr. A. Dalton. 2. Tree Felling Company. 3. Georgiana Dress Shop. 4. 8 hours cleaning service. So is it A, 1, 4, 3, then 2, or B, 2, 1, 3, and then 4, or C, 3, 1, 2, 4, or D, 4, 2, 1, 3? We know our answer is, first, we'd have Dr. A. Dalton, then 8 hours, that is spelled, number 8 is spelled out in letters, 8 hours cleaning service. So E, we'd spell out the number 8. So we'd have 1, then 4, then Georgiana dress shop 3, and then 2. So our answer is A. Let's go on to question 41. What should a clerk do if the number of items being delivered is less than that shown on the delivery note? A. Reprimand the delivery agent and refuse to accept the delivery. B. Return the goods and ask for urgent delivery of the correct order. C. Accept the delivery and ask the company to send the outstanding items. Or D. Write the shortage on the delivery note before signing for receipt of the goods. We know our answer would be D. Write on the shortage on the delivery note before we sign. So let's go on to question 42 to 43. It says, items 42 to 43 refer to the following transactions which occurred during the month of January 2015. So we have our details, descriptive or debit credit balance. Okay. So on the 1st of January, there was a balance of $150. Then on the 3rd of January, interest was received. That was a credit of $5. Then on the 5th of January, a withdrawal at the ATM machine was done, $140. The 12th of January, a check was deposited, $200. Then on the 15th of January, a check withdrawing $50. Then on the 27th of January, there was a service charge of $10. Okay, here what a question says in 42. The extract shown above is an example of A. Cash book, B. Summary sheet, C. Statement of account, or D. Bank reconciliation statement. We know this is not a cash book. This is neither a summary sheet nor a bank reconciliation statement. We know this is a statement of account, C, because we saw ATM, so we know that's a personal banking account of someone. Okay, let's go on to question 43. It says, assuming that there are no further transactions, what is the opening balance on the account on the 1st of February? Is it A, $105, B, $155, C, $195, or D, $285? So there was a balance of $150. There was a $5 interest, so that is added. So that's a total of $155. Now $140 was taken from that, so that would be left with $15. Now $15. Now $200 was deposited. So you add that now, $215, and then there was a check and a service charge. So 50 and 10, that's 60. So take away 60 from 215, we get $155. So our answer would be B. Another simple way that what you could have done is to add the balance and the credit and the check that was deposited. Add all of that and take it away from the withdrawal, the check, and the service charge. So debit, you subtract this from what your credit and your balance in total. That would have resulted in the same answer. Let's go on to question number 44. When cash is paid from the chief cashier to the petty cashier, the transaction should be recorded as a 1. Debit in the cash book, 2. Credit in the cash book, 3. Debit in the petty cash book, or 4. Credit in the petty cash book. So is it A, 1 only, B, 1 and 3 only, C, 2 and 3 only, or D, 2 and 4 only? We know our answer would be 2 and 3 only. So our answer is C. So it is credit in the cash book and debit in the petty cash book. Let's go on to question number 45. It says, what steps should a businessman take if his cash book and bank statement show a difference of $20? A. Reconcile his bank statement with his cash book. B. Regard the $20 as interest on his current account. C. Inform the bank that an error has been made in his account. Or D. Write a check for $20 to balance his statement with the bank. This question is another repeat again. So we know it would be to reconcile his bank statement with his cash book and see where the error lies. Let's go on to 46. Says, which of the following details is not included on the cash disbursement sheet used in petty cash? A. The unused balance. B. A summary of the funds spent. C. The date on which the money was paid. D. The name of the person receiving the funds. We know it is there. It says not included in the cash disbursement sheet. Using the petty cash, it would be D, the name of the person receiving the funds. That is not included. Let's go on to 47. Item 47 refers to the following extract from a petty cash book. Goods and services, cleaning, postage, tea breaks, and travel. $30 was used for cleaning, $15 for postage, $19.40 for tea breaks, and $22 for travel. It says, question 47 says, the petty cash float is $100 and it is operated on the impressed system. What amount should the petty cashier receive to start the new period? So we know on the impress system, if let's say money was given once a month, let's say $80, we know that at the end of the month, it cannot be, the petty cash cannot be more than the $80. It would have to be less. So now, what amount now? Let's see if we can calculate this now. So we got a float of $100. Now what we have to do in total, we have to add 30 plus 15 plus 1940 plus 22. And we get $86.40. Now what we have to do, we have to deduct the $86.40 from $100. So we are left with $13.60 at the end of the period. Now the question says, what amount should the petty cashier receive to start the new period? So if he's going to get another $100 as float, so we have to add $100 plus the $13.60. So that would be the new money now that the cashier would have to start that new period. So that would be $113.60. So our answer is C. Let's go on to question number 48. So items 48 through 50 refer to the following form. We have a stock record. So we have the description of a pencil case, the supplier, Pink Star Limited. We have the stock reference number, and we have the maximum number, 100, minimum number, 15. Reorder level, it is at 25. So we have our date, our order number, the amount that was in, out, and the balance that was left. So on the 1st of September 2014, there was a balance of 50 pence a case. On the 3rd of September, 75, and we see the order number came in. So there is a total now of 125. On the 4th of September, 50 pence a case went out. So there was 75 left in balance. On the 5th of September now, there was another 50 that went out. That reduced it to 25 pence a case left in stock. 8th of September, 20 came in. So the balance that they now had was 45 in total in stock. Question 48 says, a reorder for pencil cases should be placed on A, 1st of September, B, 3rd of September, C, 4th of September, or D, 5th of September. So we know based on the diagram or stock record, it says the reorder level is 25. So let's look. So on the 5th of September, it was 25. So we know that the 5th of September would be the time to reorder. D. So let's go on. Did I say D? C? Sorry. So 50 went out. So 50 from 75 would have left 25. Right. So let's go on. So 49 says, how many pencil cases were issued on the 5th of September? We know it was on the 5th of September. It was on the 5th of September, 50 went out. So 50. So take away 50 from 20. So we are left with 30. How many pencil cases were issued on the 5th of September? So it was 50. Let's go on to question number 51. 50, sorry. What is the total number of pencil cases that were issued? A, 80, B, 100, C, 120, or D, 141? We know it is B. 100 pencil cases were issued. How do we know that? The amount that went out. So 50 and 50. 50 went out. So in total, it was 100. Let's go on to 51. Item 51 refers to the following stock information on the movement of stock. So we have January 15 at 35. February, we see amount of stock that was issued at the cost, and on May 20 was issued. What is the cost of the closing stock at the end of May using the FIFO method? We know FIFO, first in, first out. This is another question that is repeated. We did this in 2019 past paper. So we know that our answer is A, 300. 52 now. It says, the operations office is responsible for planning and organizing the A, delivery of goods, B, marketing of goods, C, production processes, or D, contracts of employment. We know what is it, once it is the operations office, we know it is responsible for production process. C. Go on to question number 53. Items 53 to 54 refer to the following information. Garden supplies and plant care services, 21 Happy Street, Bushy Park, to Mr. D. Lee, 50 New Lane, Mountain View, the 10th of May 2013. And the order number is 483. So we have our description. One Model G lawnmower, $556. And it was one unit, so it is in total 556. Now the term says 25% discount if paid within 7 days, 10% within 14 days. All right, now we see the letter, the term E and OE there. Now question 53 says the term E and OE on the invoice indicates that A, Mr. Lee should not regard this document as a request for payment. B, garden supplies and plant care services can later correct any error made when preparing the bill. C, garden supplies and plant care services may not have included all the items that Mr. Lee ordered. Or D, Mr. Lee can hold garden supplies and plant care services to the terms of sale as shown on the invoice. So we know when we see E and OE, that initial stands for, as we know, errors and omissions. Accepted. Now, this indicates that the supplier, he reserves the right to alter the invoice if a mistake has been made. So that's what the term E and OE means. So we know using that, our answer would be B, garden supplies and plant care services can later correct any error made when preparing the bill. So we know that is our answer, B. Let's go on to question number 54. It says, how much should Mr. Lee pay if the bill is settled on 16th of May? So let's go back to our 16th of May. Okay, here is the terms. It says 25% discount if paid within 7 days, 10% within 14 days. So, and the question says on the 16th of May. It was issued on the 10th of May, so that's 6 days late, six days later. So therefore, the 25% discount would be applicable if paid within 7 days. So you would get a 25% discount. So we would have to find 25% of $556. And when we find 25% of $56, we would get, I think, $139. And then what we would have to do now, we would have to subtract $139 from $556, which would give us $417. So that's the amount that Mr. Lee would pay. So our answer would be C, $417. Because he paid within 7 days. Let's go on to question number 55. Items 55 through 57 refer to the following document. Customer's name, Zena's Upholstery. We see job, 12 cushions. We have the job number 170. Time required to complete job, 2 days. Materials needed, we have the fabric, sponge, thread. We see the cost. The labor, stitcher 200, total cost of labor 200. Add 20% for overheads, total cost of job, and the cost per unit. Now, the document above is an example of A, job card, B, cost card, C, time card, or D, record card. We know it is the cost card. All right. Let's go on to 56. What is the 20% overhead charge? So what we would have to do, first we have to find out in total how much it costs. So we'd have to add 600 plus 250 plus 60 plus 200. When we add all of that, we get $1,110. Now we have to find 20% of $1,110, and we get $222. So our answer is C. Let's go on to question 57. It says the total cost of the job is, so for us to find the total cost of the job, we'd have to find the overhead charge, the 20% overhead charge that we have just worked out, plus the total cost of the job, which was $1,110. So we add 1,110 plus $222, and we get $1,332. So our answer is D. Let's go on to question 58. It says, the table below is an extract from an airline schedule which shows that the aircraft will stop in Antigua on its way to Jamaica from Barbados. And we have the date, Thursday 14th of March 2015. And we see left Barbados Airport at 3 p.m., arrived at Antigua Airport at 4:25 p.m. Then the plane took off at 7:30 p.m. from Antigua and landed in Kingston, Jamaica, arrival time at 8:30 p.m. So it says, how long will the aircraft be on the ground in Antigua? So we have to say from Antigua. So in Antigua, when the plane landed, it was 4:25. Then the plane took off from Antigua or depart from Antigua at 7:30. So how long did he wait? When we take away 4:25 from 7:30, we got 3 hours and 5 minutes. So that's how long he waited on ground in Antigua. So the answer is A. Let's go on to question 59. P. Ork has a manufacturing business. His raw material cost 1,900. Rates and rent total 2,000, and factory wages amount to 2,500. The number of units produced is 640. What is the cost per unit? A, $4, B, $6, C, $10, D, $13. Now, what do we have to do in order to find out what is the cost per one unit? We'd have to add up our raw materials plus our rates and rent total and our factory wages. So when we add 1,900 plus 2,000 plus 2,500, we got $6,400. Now it tells us that the number of units produced is 640. So for us to know the cost of one unit or per unit, we would have to divide 640 into 6,400, and that would give us 10. So per unit, per one, it is $10. C is your answer. Let's go on to question 60. What is the benefit of having insurance coverage during the transportation of goods? A, prevents accidents. B, ensures goods are not stolen. C, prevents the driver from selling the goods. And D, compensates the businessman in case of a loss. We know our answer is D, compensates the businessman in case of a loss. So this is it. We have come to the end of this past paper, the June 2015 CSEC Office Administration past paper 1. So remember to like this video, give it a like if you have received value. Subscribe to the channel if you have not done so, and share the video with as many persons as possible. So all the best in your exam. And until then, I'll see you in the next visit, and thanks for watching.